Hello, ho, 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 and welcome to SpyHards Podcast, the world's most festive spy movie podcast. I'm Agent Scott.
And I'm Cam the Provocateur, making a Christmas wish that he wasn't the same age as the two leads of this week's film.
Oh, I did not know that.
Isn't that depressing?
That really is. What have you achieved in your life? Chuck Norris has defended truth and the American way.
And Richard Lynch has been in movies, I guess.
He has been menacing in many a movie.
He has indeed. So they got a lot going for them, and well, it's not the years, it's the mileage, and they are wearing that mileage.
They really are. Like they're wearing those dual-wielding Uzis with the straps.
Is that what just like any action hero or like actor in an action film look like at the age of 45 in those days?
See, the thing is, they looked like that from the age of 25 until about 50, and then they looked old.
Yeah.
Like, they just have this, they just exist in this state of, like, rugged sawdust and sunburn kind of state for a while.
It's kind of like Bruce Willis being, I think he was like 32 in Die Hard.
Yeah. And he was 32 in Die Hard 4 as well.
Exactly. But it's like...
And then Die Hard 5 hit, and everything went wrong.
Boy, did it. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia.
Oh. That's not what Chuck Norris is saying this week.
No, it is not. He is not saying yippee-ki-yay whatsoever about Mother Russia.
He's not saying anything.
Now, folks, last year we tackled, I think, many would argue, a masterpiece when we looked at Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy for Christmas. And, you know, when you've hit that height of spy entertainment, where do you go? There's only one answer. You go higher. With this week's film, we're going to talk about 1985's Invasion U.S.A., starring Chuck Norris.
And, of course, patriotism.
Damn right. The best gift of all.
Second billing. Unwrap that, Russians.
Take that.
No, you know, Cam, nature hates a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we blew up the internet with our Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy review. And then we decided, well, where do you go from there?
You blow more things up.
You blow more things up. You blow everything up. Half this film is explosions.
It is. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, our friends at Exploding Helicopter Podcast will be thrilled with this film because there is at least one exploding helicopter.
I think just one, though, right? On the rooftop?
I think just one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty badass, though.
It is. It is indeed.
Yeah, it is. I have a lot to say about this film. I was not expecting what I got in my stocking.
Nor was I. I'll give you a hint, though. After this movie, I was desperately running to IMDb to see if Chuck Norris made any more spy films that we could add to the list.
Maybe this is the end of the show. Maybe you just have nowhere to go after Invasion USA.
Well, it is the end of the show as far as Chuck Norris is concerned, sadly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, very versatile in the types of characters he played. Like a lot of, he'd be cops or
no
army.
No one's ever said that Chuck Norris was versatile.
Well, in terms of the characters, you know, it's not like some actors who constantly go back to playing, you know, CIA agents or military guys. It's like Chuck Norris is kind of all over the place. He's, you know, like police officers. He is hitmen. He is like truckers. Martial artists. It really bounces around a lot.
I still don't think that's necessarily range. It's not like he's playing a quadriplegic or he's playing like a guy that's bedbound like Brendan Fraser in The Whale. They're all like justice dealers.
He plays a range of occupations.
But if you're like on one of those filling out your occupation on your form somewhere, you'd click like law enforcement, and that would be almost all of his jobs.
A trucker?
Yeah, but he's still like delivering justice as a trucker. He's delivering his parcels and justice.
Okay, well, that's true.
Yeah,
two-fisted justice.
Two-fisted. No, he can stick as many fists in me as he wants. That man. I mean, boy, oh boy. I grew up watching like Walker Texas Ranger, so I know a fair bit about Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
but I'd never really watched many of his films.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an interesting preamble because what was your experience with Chuck Norris?
Well, I just said I watched Walker Texas Ranger.
That's it.
I'd have to go and look. Nothing really jumps out to me. I'm sure I've seen...
You watched Lone Wolf McQuade, right?
Yeah, I did. I've seen the second Expendables that he was in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, yeah, just a lot of Walker Texas Ranger, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a huge collection of Chuck Norris films under my belt, my black belt, if you will. Um, I'd seen, I think maybe the first one I saw was actually the movie Sidekicks, which I saw in theaters as a kid, which was just basically a Karate Kid knockoff. So I saw that. I had seen a couple episodes of Walker Texas Ranger. And I did see later in life the Missing in Action trilogy.
Sure.
Because I picked up like a box set of them at like the Salvation Army, like a thrift store basically, and was like, oh, I've never really watched a lot of Chuck Norris. I'll watch these 3 films.
That feels apt.
Yeah, and I went through them, and I do have another collection on my shelf that I haven't watched any of, but it features mostly straight-to-video movies he did. So it has like the one where he goes to hell. I can't remember what it's called, but a couple like that.
I bet it's something really on the nose, like Chuck Norris Goes to Hell.
Probably. It's not considered the ones that people would go to, but I do remember when I was growing up, there was a lot of commercials on for advertising action movies that would be on TV, and I would see The Octagon mentioned a lot, and also Code of Silence.
You're saying words that might mean something to other people, but not me.
Yeah, well, it's like those are the ones, if you ask me off the top of my head to just name Chuck Norris movies, those would be the ones that I can name, even though he made much more that I just wasn't really that familiar with. I had seen, actually, I did leave out Return of the Dragon with Bruce Lee, or Way of the Dragon, depending on how you're watching it, which version. But ultimately, it's Bruce Lee battling Chuck Norris at the very end of that film, so I had seen him in that.
Okay, I wouldn't mind checking that out.
Yeah, it's actually a really good fight.
Fair enough. Well, if you've never experienced Invasion USA, welcome. Firstly, happy Christmas. We're glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how you feel right now. If you haven't watched it, and you're not going to, you just want to know what it is, here is your synopsis. In classic Chuck Norris fashion, this is a 2-line synopsis.
Oh, I was hoping for 1 line.
I mean, it's one whole line.
Okay.
But it's 1 sentence.
Sure.
I'll give you the title, the hook, and then the actual synopsis. Invasion USA. America wasn't ready, but he was.
Was he?
Well, he seemed pretty ready. He was like wrestling alligators, and then he's like, I'm going to go save America.
But when you say he was ready, it means to me he was prepared for this. He wasn't really prepared.
I mean, look how much the law enforcement in America bungled this entire thing until the very end when they just completely stamped down the enemy force.
Well, it's like, can you explain to me what the purpose of those police officers throughout the movie were? Like the investigators of what was going on?
They did nothing. Also, his handler is bobbling around without really doing anything or saying anything.
Yeah.
But here is the 1-line synopsis. The one-man army comes to the rescue of the United States when a spy attempts an invasion.
Attempts and mostly succeeds, actually.
He gets real far. This is Red Dawn Light. Red Dawn, they take over a town. That's it.
Yeah.
This
is Red Dawn Light? This is Red Dawn Extreme.
Well, I mean, the action is turned up to 11, but Red Dawn is a pretty fun film. And I'd say it's a bit more of a well-made film.
I would say no. It's John Milius. He's a good director.
Yeah. It's more serious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's a fallacy of a concept, but it's more serious than this film. This is the B-movie canon film version.
Yeah, and that was released the exact same year as this movie.
There you go.
So it was something in the air, a lot of paranoia about the Soviets.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is a movie that's almost feverish in its paranoia. And it ultimately culminates in an invasion of Russian and Cuban soldiers. Although I really got to be honest, it was a very multicultural collection of invaders.
They're not picky. Communists will take anyone.
Clearly, yeah. So
Yeah.
It was very notable to me, though. But that's who's ultimately taking over Florida. But I had a rough understanding as to what the expansion of the invasion was.
Well, there's a scene where all of these soldiers are running into vans, and they're like, Russian, 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 Seattle, Russian, 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 Las Vegas, Russian, 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 Washington, D.C. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, they have like big plans. I did balk at like, they get into these vans, and they're in the Florida Keys,
Yeah.
and he goes, in 18 hours, the world will change.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't drive from the Florida Keys to Las Vegas in 18 hours. That's not happening. You might be like halfway across the Mississippi by that point.
Yeah, exactly.
New Orleans won't know what hit it. They'll be like confused.
He had ambition, that's for sure.
He did. He dreamt big.
He did.
He did. But yeah, it was what was meant to be quite a nationwide invasion was more Florida.
Mostly, yes. You know, I'm sure it had good tax breaks for the production to shoot there.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, well, we're reviewing it already. Let's not do that. Let's go behind the scenes. Cam, open up your sack and show me the presents of the behind the scenes of Invasion USA.
So let's talk a little bit about Chuck Norris himself.
Let's do it.
Because as we said up front,
Hmm.
like for me, he was not the action hero I grew up watching. I was an Arnold Schwarzenegger kid first and foremost, but also a lot of Van Damme, Seagal, Stallone. Like those were my go-tos. What about you?
I mean, you look nothing like any of them, but yes, go on.
Well, what about you?
I didn't romanticize violence.
Sure. Scott watched nothing but like children's films, and the children's films that were straight to video.
No, I actually genuinely, I didn't watch a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
It didn't really interest me. I watched a lot of science fiction.
okay, that's fair.
But you know, Jean-Luc Picard was my poster boy.
Right. Well, he was an action hero when you got to the films, so that counts, I guess.
Yeah, I do wear vests and swing from vines from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. So Chuck Norris, shy underachiever in his younger years, married his high school sweetheart, and joined the U.S. Air Force. And while he was stationed in South Korea, he began studying martial arts. And when he ultimately left the service in '62, he came home and opened a karate studio, which soon led to 30 studios. So he was a pretty damn good businessman, gotta say.
I mean, no wonder he's fighting the communists. He wants to stand up for capitalism. The American way.
Damn right. And he taught a lot of celebs, most notably Steve McQueen, who encouraged him to try acting.
Wasn't he in the background of one of our films before, though?
He was. We'll get to that. So,
Okay.
you know, he had a very prestigious career in martial arts. He won the title of World Middleweight Karate Champion from 68 to 74. He retired undefeated from competition. He was also awarded an 8th degree black belt grandmaster in Taekwondo in 1996, which was a first for someone from the West.
Oh, I have no doubt that he could still kick my ass.
Oh, 100%. He's 85 years old, and you know he could still, like, swing a kick.
Oh, for sure. I bet he still trains.
I can guarantee he does, yeah, totally.
Oh, okay, that's a little creepy.
I can guarantee. I've been watching him through binoculars. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I mean, that's why he was your poster boy, because you literally have pictures of him on your wall.
That beard is still magnificent.
You want a nest inside of it.
Yeah. The mullet has pulled back a little bit, but, you know, the beard still first and foremost.
Hey, something to grab onto, right?
That's right. He broke into films with 1968's The Wrecking Crew. Of course, a movie we tackled on here. He was a member of, like, the Assassin Squad.
The knock list winning.
Thanks, John. Yes, for getting
Thanks,
that one
John.
on.
Love you.
But that was his first sort of foray into film. Made a big splash in 1972's The Way of the Dragon, where he battled Bruce Lee, a movie I mentioned previously. His first leading man job was in the 70s film Breaker Breaker, where he played a trucker. And then he just went on this string of action movies. He did Good Guys Wear Black, The Octagon, Lone Wolf McQuade, and the first two missing in action films. This movie was a follow-up to 1985's Code of Silence, which was another hit for him.
Written for him, I assume.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
That was a joke.
I mean, probably, considering he was working... It's a little bit of a cottage industry, these movies, which we'll get into in a second.
Okay, all right. Incestuous. I like that.
Yes, so...
Well, I don't like incest, just to clarify. I feel like I needed to clear that up real quick before we moved on.
Something to hold on to.
Incest. Not a well. That's perfectly fine between two consenting adults.
So this movie was the first in a 6-film contract he made with Canon Films after they'd made Missing in Action. That movie was actually a quite big hit, and they were like, lock this guy down. And Canon, who people may have perked up when they heard the title, Canon Pictures was a studio that had a little bit of a disreputable edge to them. They'd been formed in the 60s.
They still do.
Yeah. They'd been formed in the 60s, but their heyday was really 79 to 87, where Israeli cousins Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus took over the studio and began cranking out exploitation films on low budgets. And the joke was they would just take the worst scripts, plug in an action hero, lots of explosions, and call it a day. And they had a lot of success with the Death Wish sequels because they'd bought the rights to Death Wish.
Okay.
They did the American Ninja films, King Solomon's Mines, the breakdancing films, Bolero with Bo Derek, Life Force, the sci-fi horror movie which Patrick Stewart appears in, calling it back to Scott's fandom. They did Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Runaway Train, the Jon Voight action film, and notably Cobra with Stallone. Cobra they put actually quite a bit of money into, and it was a really big hit for them.
Isn't that connected to one of our very earliest interviews?
I think it was. Yes. Someone...
Wendell Wellman?
Maybe. Someone who worked on Cobra but didn't get a credit on it. Yeah.
I think it's Wendell.
I think it
Shout
was
out to
Wendell. Yeah.
Hope you're doing well, buddy, wherever you are.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Canon, though, is like they're known as these kind of action schlockmeisters, but they were also really big in funding art house films, and they were also like making movies with John Cassavetes, Franco Zeffirelli, Norman Mailer, and if you read like a lot of critics at the time would actually say Canon was putting out a lot of the most interesting international films.
So they're kind of the modern day A24.
But A24 is not cranking out like B action movies on the regular.
So what's the modern interpretation?
I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if it counts. Like I think of like Blumhouse is producing a lot of, like $5 million horror films.
Sure.
And just throwing them out there. Some are hits, some aren't. And then we'll also, I think, put their names on like, more prestigious stuff.
Fair enough.
But it's not the same. Like, this is so 80s. This is just like the, hey, we got a picture here. Cue the explosions kind of attitude.
Get some tits and some guns. We got a picture.
Exactly. Like, that's not really the way I think Blumhouse operates.
I hope it is.
I do too. But the idea for Invasion U.S.A.
Show me them titties. Meow. I'm a cop in 1920s New York now. Meow, see.
Slightly, sir. It's the Bowery Boys.
Are you British now?
No, it's the Bowery Boys.
Oh, I don't fucking know what that is.
Oh, well, you got to go back to like 1940s films to...
No, I don't.
So the idea for Invasion USA came from an article Chuck Norris read in Reader's Digest that said hundreds of terrorists were active in the U.S., and he saw this film as a cautionary tale.
Do you think anyone walked out of this film and was like, that could really happen?
I'm sure someone did.
Okay, I could probably think of a few places where maybe that's the truth.
But by and large, I would say no.
Yeah, I feel like Red Dawn did a better job of that.
I think if you're going to look at those kind of, Cold War scare films, Red Dawn is the more effective one, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think, is there anyone else in this bracket? Like Russia invading?
No, I was looking at like 1985, because it is kind of an odd year, because you just have these really pumped up action movies. You had Schwarzenegger doing Commando that year, and you had Stallone doing Rambo 2, right, which does have a big like Russian presence in it. Like that is a big part of that movie.
But they're not invading America.
No, but it is like him going up against the Russians by the end of that film.
I suppose I'm talking about a subgenre of like Russia invades America.
Yeah, I don't. You'd have to look it up. Like, I'm sure there are like action films and suspense films of this time period. Like, if you look up our master list, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff coming out of 85. You had Falcon and the Snowman in 85, but that one doesn't count.
See, you type it in, the first thing it says is Red Dawn. The second thing is Invasion USA.
Yeah, exactly. I think those are the big two.
Yeah, I think that is really, really it. If we've missed one, though, let us know.
But the Russians were the big bads of the 80s in action films already, so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're perfectly fine now, though.
100%. Things are going great.
Yeah.
Things are going great.
There's no problems in Russia.
No notes. Um,
The best.
so this movie had.
You love Canada because they're red,
Mhm.
and Russia because they're red. You two are connected, really. You're the Reds.
We are. And so is Santa.
Yeah, and you can invade USA whenever you like.
Moving on.
Okay.
The story for this film was actually split between two people. One was this main screenwriter of the film, James Bruner, who I'll get to in a second. The other story credit went to Aaron Norris, the younger brother of Chuck.
Did both of them think they were assigned to do Chuck Norris's dialogue, and they both realized none of them had done it?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So, yes, Aaron Norris, California-born director, producer, writer, actor, and stuntman. His first credits were on the 70s action films Black Belt Jones and Breaker Breaker, where he doubled his brother. He would also work on Final Chapter, Walking Tall, the third in the Walking Tall series with Joe Don Baker. But he's been working right up until fairly recently. He was doing stunts on Ant-Man, for example. I'm wondering if he was Michael Douglas's stunt double.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
in '85, this was his first writing credit. But he'd done some uncredited work later on Braddock, Missing in Action 3. He had a story credit on Top Dog, the Chuck Norris Canine Turner and Hooch ripoff.
Sure.
He worked on also Walker, Texas Ranger, and the other Chuck Norris series, Sons of Thunder. He was also a director. He directed Missing in Action 3, Delta Force 2, The Hitman, Sidekicks, Hellbound, Top Dog, and a few episodes of Walker.
That sounds like a lot of to-be specials to me.
A lot of these are theatrical. In fact, almost all of them are theatrical films, but they're probably streaming on Tubi right now.
Yeah, I mean more of that, as in they were very cheap to pick up the rights. You'll note that Invasion USA is actually free on YouTube right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's. I watched it on Amazon Prime where it was free as well, but it was also on Tubi for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron Norris is like, you could see like there is this cottage industry. Him and his brother, like he's very involved in a lot of the films along the way, in various capacities. The other writer on this film, James Bruner, fairly limited filmography actually. He started out with the Chuck Norris film An Eye for an Eye in '81, and he also did Missing in Action, and then led right into Invasion USA. And he would also do Delta Force, Braddock, Missing in Action 3. And that was kind of about it. He wrote and directed a 2007 indie comedy called Hollywood.com, which didn't really go anywhere, and has since done some Hallmark films in a producer role, but not a huge filmography in terms of being a writer.
Hey, he seems to be doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, he had a story credit on this film. He also did the screenplay. The other screenplay credit goes to Chuck Norris himself. This was his debut writing effort. He also later wrote Braddock, Missing in Action 3, Logan's War, Bound by Honor, and a few episodes of Sons of Thunder and Walker, Texas Ranger.
So fairly in each other's pockets then.
Yeah, and the line in the film, if you come back in here, I'm going to hit you with so many rights, you're going to beg for a left. Pure Chuck Norris.
That is maybe the best line of the film.
He wrote it.
Fair play.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of sass you expect from this sort of film. But when it landed, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. I had no notes. It was just like...
Oh, it's a great line.
Magic. It was just magic. And the thing is, like, if you gave that to someone who perhaps is a more dexterous actor, like, I don't know.
Bruce Willis.
Adam Driver.
Oh, Adam Driver. Okay.
I went someone who can act.
I would argue Bruce Willis can act. He just often was, chose roles that were...
Okay. Well, sure. Yes. Bruce Willis has some range. We saw The Shackle. So, yeah, I think they would overdo it or, like, oversell the line. He just says it, and it's like, yeah.
I remember seeing Expendables 2, and Chuck Norris appeared, and all of his lines were like just the flattest of flat
Okay.
in terms of delivery. And I was like, oh, maybe Chuck Norris has just kind of like lost it as an actor over the years. You know, he was pretty old.
Yeah.
And then I go back and watch this, and I go, no, that was just his delivery style.
Yeah. But it works when it works.
That's right. And it worked with
Yeah.
that line.
It did. There are other lines here.
There are.
Not so much.
Not a lot of lines. Not a lot of talking.
Lines. I think we could probably quote the whole film during this podcast.
I think we could do it in about 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, I think you could speed read this whole film. The rest of it is just explosions.
Well, like Arnold Schwarzenegger famously had something like, I don't know, 40 lines in the original Terminator. Like it was not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Chuck Norris in this movie is not that far off.
Well, I think of like Clint Eastwood in Where Eagles Dare, or frankly any of his films. Yeah, sometimes you don't need it. Less is more.
I saw some reviews from the time of this movie. This was not a well-reviewed film, shocker. But there were people bringing up these comparisons.
Pretentious bastards.
There were these comparisons being brought up between Chuck Norris and Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
And some critics saying like he wants to be more the modern-day Eastwood. And I guess there was maybe some positioning there. Definitely with the delivery.
I think that's definitely a choice.
Yeah.
I think he knew what his strengths were, and one of them isn't acting.
Yeah, I mean...
So it's like, I'll be the physical force. Like, he looks like a leading man.
Sure.
But then he opens his mouth. And it's like, okay.
Where I'd argue, like, Eastwood has much more of the ability to deliver lines in a very effective way.
I think he's a better actor.
Totally.
I don't think it would be an outrageous statement to say Clint Eastwood is a better actor than Chuck Norris.
Don't think so. He's got a couple Academy Award nominations to prove it.
I'm sure someone will be annoyed by that.
Someone will. The director of this film, Joseph Zito, born in New York, and definitely started out kind of making schlocky stuff. There was the 1975 kidnapping thriller Abduction, which was inspired by the Patty Hearst story. And then he did the 1980s film called Blood Rage. And I'm just going to read the synopsis for this one.
Mm-hmm.
A sexually frustrated young man kills hookers.
Sounds like just another Thursday for you.
It's the 80s. This is the 80s right there in a synopsis. And then in 84, he did Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, which is actually, I think, the best of the Friday the 13th by a considerable margin.
Better than like the first ones?
Oh, yeah. The first one's not very good, I don't think. Second one's okay. I would say the fourth one and the sixth one are the best. So it was kind of a little bit like a Fast and Furious situation where they don't really get good until later on down the road.
Yeah, Fast 10 was the best one, you're right.
100%. But
I mean, when they defied gravity for the 18th time, it was just like pure cinema.
But like Fast 5 is the one everyone will pretty much say is the best. That or 7.
7's pretty fun.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, it's usually 4 and 6 are the two that are chosen.
6 the last one?
No, hell no. Are you kidding me?
What is the one this guy did?
4.
It said it was the final thing, didn't it?
Yes, that's right. It was the final chapter, Scott. How could there ever be more after a movie called The Final Chapter?
How silly of me.
I think the Saw 7th entry was called The Final Chapter as well.
And they went to 10, didn't they?
They've kept on going. Yeah, there's more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like silly time jumps backwards now though? Like 7 is always the end, but they have to like go back and fill in gaps?
No. 8 and 9, I believe, were follow-ups further down the timeline. And then 10 was sort of a prequel fill-in one, and it was actually quite good.
I've seen the first one.
Sure. I don't think you're missing out that much, so you're okay. So Joseph Zito had also done Missing in Action previous to this movie, and so that got him a ticket into Invasion USA because that movie had been quite successful.
Sure.
But he did not work with Chuck Norris again. And
oh no,
Chuck Norris apparently wanted Whoopi Goldberg to be in this film as the reporter because he had given her a bit part in A Force of One, a movie he'd done earlier. And Joseph Zito said no. And Chuck Norris, I guess in his autobiography said, and I kicked him to the curb basically after that.
Just because of Whoopi?
I think he was just, yeah, I guess that was probably emblematic of other headbutting, but that was the thing he underlined.
Like he wasn't getting his way,
Yeah.
and so yeah, okay,
Yeah, I think Chuck Norris, he's working with his brother in a very prominent way. I think he likes to kind of have control over these films.
sure.
And, I mean, his brother's directing a number of them later on. And so it was kind of like, okay, we're headbutting a little bit over this movie. And so when I looked up Zito, he didn't do a lot after. He did the Dolph Lundgren film Red Scorpion in '88, which was sort of a cult action favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And in the late 90s, early 2000s, did a couple direct-to-video action films, but that's about it.
Okay,
But I had a funny story about him.
sure.
That when they were screening this film for the producers,
Mm-hmm.
Golem, when he saw the armadillo, said, "That's why Joe Zito is a great director."
Hmm.
And you know what? I don't disagree.
I mean, I'm pro armadillo. I just wish we'd seen more.
We got a lot of armadillo.
Surprising amounts of armadillo in the first 20 minutes of this film.
Every second of that armadillo footage, priceless. Great stuff.
I've never seen an armadillo in a film.
I thought it was so cute when it was digging into that blanket.
Yeah, like it was getting ready to curl up, and it's like, oh, they're just like cats and dogs.
I had never wanted an armadillo in my life until I watched Invasion USA.
Like, what a thing to take away from this film. Like, the one thing. And you're like, I might get an armadillo. You know what? I think I will.
My main concern, the highest stakes of this movie were, is Chuck Norris going to get home to that armadillo? And he never did.
He never did. Well, maybe he went off screen because it did literally cut to black after the final fight ended.
Are armadillos, well, can they be domesticated? And if so, is it okay to send that armadillo back into the wild? Because that was my main concern about that armadillo.
Like how it's doing in the couple of days when he's out saving the United States.
Yeah, like, has it been trained to basically eat out of a dish and not sort of hunt for its food? I don't know.
And also, is that armadillo from the swamp? I don't think armadillos are from swamps.
I have no idea.
I always thought they were more desert creatures.
I thought so too.
So, how's it going to eat?
Did he take it from the desert to Florida?
Like a pilgrimage?
I don't know. Now I'm going to Google, are armadillos in Florida?
Are there armadillos? I mean, I'm sure that not Joe Dante, Joe Exotic or whatever his name is probably had a few, but go on.
Armadillos frequent the Florida wetlands. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really going to the United States that much for the next few years, for no reason whatsoever. But now I might.
I mean,
to Florida of all places.
We could play some golf while we're there as well.
Yeah, here are some great links around there.
Yeah, that's right. Pick up an armadillo.
Yeah. Any more for us, Cap?
The budget for this movie was $12 million. The original budget was 10, but they increased it by $2 million when the producers saw the dailies and were like,
it's the armadillo budget.
Yeah, that was the moment. They were like, more armadillo, $2 million. Because I gotta say, they really stretched their budget on this one. The amount of...
there is a lot on screen.
Explosions and squibs and all that. I'm like, Jesus, what was the budget just for bullet squibs?
I mean, the film continues to one-up itself the entire way through, I'd say. There's maybe... The ending is perhaps not the best, but, they destroy a town.
Mm-hmm.
They do all kinds of hijinks. There's, tanks driving through... cars and stuff. It's whatever the money is, it was all on the screen.
Yeah, no, I agree. So domestically, this movie did 17.5 million, international 24 million, and when I went to look at the worldwide box office, for whatever reason, it's kind of falls into that area which some movies do, where the international grosses are completely ignored on Box Office Mojo and the numbers. So it's a dishonest placement on the worldwide box office. So what I'm going to do is just give you the domestic box office and say it was number 50 for the year in the U.S. between the Matt Dillon film, The Flamingo Kid, and the William Friedkin great thriller, To Live and Die in L.A. The top three for the year, number 1 was Back to the Future, number 2 was Beverly Hills Cop, And number 3, Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Another one of those final chapters, eh?
I don't know if Part 2 is considered the final chapter. I think
No,
it
but
was.
like First Blood Part 2.
That's true, but there could be a First Blood Part 3.
Should there be, though?
Well, the next one was just called Rambo 3,
That makes more sense.
and then the fourth one was called Rambo,
That makes less sense.
and then the fifth one was called Rambo Last Blood.
That's kind of fun.
That is kind of fun. Terrible movie, but kind of fun.
I just remember there's a really cool photoshopped image of him firing a 50 cal machine gun, but the gun's taken out of it,
Right.
and it's just him doing the thumbs up.
Yes, that's a great GIF. Yeah, that's actually Rambo, the fourth film.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
Sorry, Rambo heads out there.
That's right. There was actually going to be a sequel to this movie, and it was 1986's Avenging Force.
Invasion U.K. Oh, sorry.
Avenging Force.
Oh.
Chuck Norris turned it down, though, and Michael Dudikoff took over. It's not really a sequel, but he does have the same character name of Matt Hunter in the film.
Does that mean we have to do that too?
I don't think so, because the thing is, like, Chuck Norris in this movie isn't a spy.
He was, though.
He was military.
No, he was like a wet work kind of guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
I was very confused what his job actually was.
They don't specify, but it's on IMDb. I mean, Wikipedia, sorry.
I don't know.
He was like Jason Bourne.
Was he?
Yeah, you send him in, take down targets.
I thought he was more military.
Well, like, Jack Bauer is a spy, but he's basically a one-man army too.
Sure, but isn't he CIA?
No, he's whatever the agency they made up in that show was.
We'll have a debate off air about the completely forgotten Avenging Force from 1986.
I'm not saying I want to, but like for completion's sake.
Sure, to me the spy element is much more the villain in this movie, though.
But is he a spy?
Yes, he is. He's specifically a spy.
He's never really undercover.
They refer to him as a spy, though, in the film.
Okay. I'm not going to fight it. This is SpyHards.
You say he's never really undercover. He's like a Russian spy living in, like, the U.S., in Florida.
Yeah, but he's not like walking around the grocery store weighing out apples and being like, oh, the price has gone up this month, eh? And it's just like clearly a guy with a Russian accent doing an American accent. It's just, he's never really undercover. He just happens to be in the country. Like if I fly to Russia and sit in St. Petersburg, am I a spy?
I would say this movie lacks the espionage subtleties that Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy gave us last Christmas.
What was our Christmas before that?
I think it was Red.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should like line up our Christmas films at the end. Like, what's the best?
Sure. I mean, it's going to be between this and, well, this is it. I think we've hit the heights.
Honor Majesty's, this, Tinker Tailor.
No, just this. This is the best.
Oh, just this. Yeah. Okay.
We had the package one year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. We'll talk about it at the end. We'll come back to it.
Yes.
Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Well, it's time to die, folks. Let's talk about Invasion U.S.A.
Boom.
All right, I'll go first, Cam, because you've been talking for so long. You need to take a break. You've been celebrating Chuck Norris for so long. You're tired.
Mm-hmm.
You're worn out. Unlike me, who is full of pep because of Invasion USA, it has filled me with the Christmas spirit. I have been lifted up to higher ground by Chuck Norris. This film is utter chaos.
Uh-huh.
It's ridiculous. It is... I mean... It's like watching a car crash. You can't look away from it. It draws you in. I said it has less density than helium. But I just can't help but loving this utter piece of schlock. Like, it never stops. There is no moment to breathe. Now, there is also no characters or story development, but it is an hour and 45 minutes I was very happy to spend with Chuck Norris.
How did it compare to Lone Wolf McQuade?
This was more fun.
Was it?
Well, Lone Wolf McQuade had people acting and characters and development and stuff. This has none of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have a protagonist and an antagonist, and they have a collision course for the end of the film. And it's a cat and mouse game to get there, and that cat and mouse game involves mall shootouts, house shootouts, bus shootouts, rooftop shootouts, lobby shootouts, office shootouts, lots and lots and lots of shooting.
This was a big year for mall shootouts as well, because you had one in Commando.
Yeah, like, we'll get to the knock list, and we'll get to... there are plenty of things to critique with this film, don't get me wrong. This is not a perfect film. But if you're looking for 80s canon schlock, I don't think you can go wrong here.
There was an interesting note on the IMDb trivia that all the character and storytelling aspects were edited out of the finished film.
Sure.
And to just make it like a, clothesline for action sequences. I couldn't find that anywhere legitimate. So I don't know if that was maybe brought up in a commentary on a DVD or something like that.
Sure.
But I could believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I could believe it because it feels very threadbare in terms of its actual story. It's like...
Well, the fact that we're, like, questioning who's the spy.
I wasn't.
Well, no, but, like, neither of us really know what Chuck Norris's job was.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, and there's a handler guy who wants to try and get him back into the agency, and who just appears and disappears throughout the film from random intervals. And there are some FBI guys that are kind of investigating. And then the baddies have, like, these guys dressed as cops a couple of times. But, like, that's it.
It's interesting in that, like, it's almost assuming the audience just knows all the tropes. It's like, oh, he's former special forces or something, and he's retired, and he's got to be called back in. But you think about it, this is like 1985. I don't know that this was, like, the biggest cliches at this point. Like, you go to the 90s, everyone knows this. Like, they're making Hot Shots movies, making fun of these types of movies. Whereas, like, in 85, did they have that understanding? Schwarzenegger hasn't even really found his footing yet as a movie star in 85. You know, he did Terminator the year before, but it's not until really 87 where you get the 1-2 punch of Predator and Running Man, where he is, well, off and running. That's where Arnold really comes into his own, and you get the classic Arnold films. This is the year of Rambo 2. It's not even like the Rambo movies are a running joke at this point.
I think they must have thought they were onto something.
Yeah.
To go to the extent of saying, hey, let's get rid of all of the character work and all of, like, the story. That's a pretty bold move. That's like a Mission Impossible move. But, like, Mission Impossible is Mission Impossible. This is not Mission Impossible.
No. In fact, if this was Mission Impossible, you can get rid of the whole team. You only need Hunter.
Ethan Hunter?
Ethan Hunter. There you go. The better Hunter.
Yeah. The Hunter for Red October?
Yes.
Oh, that works, actually.
Oh, there we go. There
Works. There you go.
Gold Hunter? No, that one doesn't work as well.
No.
But
You tried. You tried.
I was reminded a little bit watching this movie of another canon film, Death Wish 3 and Death Wish 4, where it's like, you go back to the original Death Wish, it's actually like, it's a kind of weird movie, but it is a movie that's very committed to the character and what he's going through, and it is more of a drama than an action film, that's for sure. And then you get to Death Wish 3 and 4 and 5, and they just turn into these ludicrous, the audience knows, you know, who Paul Kersey is, they know what he does, set up some cartoonish bad guys and watch him kill them one by one. And this movie is bigger and more extravagant than those Death Wish sequels, but it has a similar type of just shameless, go for broke, just exploitation energy. And I sat down to watch this actually expecting to be kind of bored.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a little bit like one of those movies that is, I mean, I knew it was a Chuck Norris film and they aren't generally regarded as the best. I thought I'd just be kind of bored, hoping for an action scene every now and again that would kind of jab me in the ribs to wake up.
Yeah.
This was not that.
No.
This movie was delirious. I mean, right from the get-go, where you have that boat show up and is completely machine gunned down by, I don't know, the bad guys boasting like American flags on their ship. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it has a level of shameless, brutal violence that you go like,
glorious though.
It's
Like,
grand scale.
There's a scene where I think the main baddie shoots a rocket launcher at a little girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, fucking A. Like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Like, okay, this is cinema. Just blow him up. I don't care. Or like when he hits like the lady who's doing the cocaine and smacks her head, and the straw goes up her nose. I've never seen that before.
That shocked me.
I was genuinely like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then throws her out a window afterwards.
Yeah, at insult to injury, she's just taking like coke and the straw up her nose, and then gets thrown out of a 2-story window, and then kills the other guy too.
I remember you and I laughing at Roger Moore in, was it the first of the Wild Geese
Wild
films?
Geese.
Yeah, where he's like forcing the guy to eat cocaine or heroin or whatever it was.
I think it was cocaine.
Yeah, and until the guy dies, and we were like, oh man, this over-the-top Roger Moore as, badass action hero is a lot of fun. And then I'm watching what, in this case, it's the villain, Richard Lynch, doing this to, he slams this woman's nose down on a straw, and that's horrific. Apparently that scene was edited out of the UK versions until later down the road when the DVD came out. And then, like, puts a gun down Billy Drago's pants and blows his balls off.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that bit. Yeah, he blows his dick off.
And I was like, oh my God. And from there, it only gets more insane.
This guy really hates America.
And I was on board with it. I had a absolute blast. And is this great storytelling? No, not at all. Is it often like laugh with your friends at how bad it is? Yes. Lots of moments like that throughout.
But it's not even like particularly bad.
No.
Like it's not trashy like The Room or something like that. This is some well-staged action sequences with some rough line delivery where you actually get some dialogue from time to time, and a couple of characters that are just sort of forced in, like the reporter.
Yeah.
But I was mesmerized by this thing. And like there's a little bit of filmmaking craft in here too. We talked about the moment where he fires the rocket launcher at the child who's putting the Christmas light at the top of the Christmas tree.
It's like Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah. And they go on this rampage through the town, just blowing people up with bazookas.
Yeah.
But then, like, another film wouldn't have done this. But I was like genuinely surprised and happy that they stayed on the town.
Yes.
And it's like people whimpering, and there's this lady in the background going like, Johnny! It's like, it's brutal. That's actually like a really harrowing thing to shove into this film.
And you had that couple that were making out in the car, and you knew that they were there the whole time this was happening. And then you got to see them getting out of the car, and the girl who was in the car running to that main house where Cindy Lou Who was and helping her out of the house. And I'm like, the geography of this is so well staged. I knew where all the participants were. This is like, the thing is, Joseph Zito may have gotten compliments for the armadillo, but I was going like, you know what? There is an artfulness to what he's doing with his action here. And I thought also of the sequence in the mall where the goon who drops the bomb off at the counter of the department store. And a guy, well-meaning passerby sees it and is chasing the guy, going, you forgot your bag. And it just keeps building and building because it's the classic Hitchcock. You know that bomb's going to go off. You just don't know when.
Yeah. And
I was really thinking to myself, we watch movies that would be considered like action overdrive movies nowadays. Something like, it's not that recent, but we talked about Taken a while back, in the Taken films. And there's a lot of movies that continue. There's something great like The Raid, Redemption, which comes out. Fantastic. But a lot of the movies we look at as these kind of nonstop action films, they do not commit the way something like this does. They're often directed by people that aren't the greatest at action.
Nope.
In often cases. Whereas I would say like Joseph Zito, there was a lot of shots that were quite ambitious. There was cameras, mounted on the sides of buses. There was a bit where the bad guy's getting away in a car, grabs a woman by the hair, and is dragging her outside of the car. And they have this whole chase with this stunt woman, or stuntman in a wig, I'm not exactly sure.
Cam doesn't judge.
I don't judge. Hanging on the side of this vehicle, and I'm going like, they made it more difficult for themselves. They didn't have to do this. Like a lot of films would just have the car chase. That's good. But this introduced an element that I've never really seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there going like, wow, like, you know what? I got to give them a lot of points. There is an ambition to the action and to the story. The fact that this spy isn't just attacking like a small town, it's like, in theory, is invading the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's big. And I think it's kind of like you can poke fun at it that it's all basically set in Florida, but you can poke fun at it for that. But they somewhat deliver in terms of like the scale they're going for.
Yeah, I mean, the mall chase, before you get to that car chase with the lady strapped to the side of the vehicle,
Yeah.
is huge destruction.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of destruction. I mean, it was probably a set. It probably wasn't a real mall. But, like,
It was.
it was a real mall.
Yeah, it was a mall where they were going to be, I believe, renovating a section of it or something, so they were allowed to detonate it.
Fantastic. Like, and they destroy it. It's like the sort of stuff you see in video games.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't matter what you blow up because it's a video game. There's no cost. Whereas this is that sort of thing come to life.
And also that scene where they are bazookaing all those houses.
Yep.
Those were all houses that the airport was expanding its territory, and so the houses had been bought out.
Fantastic.
And so they were allowed to blow up those houses, and they did it on set with, Richard Lynch, like, blowing them all up.
Like, you've made this joke a few times, so I don't want to take your joke too much. But, like, you compare the explosions in this to the Spectre explosion.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I know which one affected me more.
Yeah, and, it was a movie coming up, actually, where I referenced that. But there's a movie we're going to be tackling in the new year that is not regarded as a particularly good movie by any stretch of the imagination. But when you see the explosion stage there, you go, that looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, same with this movie. This movie is not regarded as a great spy film by any stretch.
No.
I think it got like half a star from Roger Ebert. This is not a movie with like a huge critical acclaim around it. It does have definitely a cult audience on Letterboxd, I noticed, who really appreciate that it goes for it big.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a movie that delivers in terms of the pyrotechnics in a way that we've almost forgotten can actually be delivered on screen.
Well, this is the problem, right? People can come to films and expect things that they shouldn't be expecting.
Yeah.
This is a Chuck Norris 80s action film. That should be enough information to tell your brain not to expect much. This is not Citizen Kane, nor does it want to be Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It is giving you big explosions, a hero you could believe in who is kicking ass and taking names, and they are stomping on some commies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. That is the entire film, and it's an hour and 40 minutes of that delivered effectively by a director who seems to know what he's doing.
And there is something to it in terms of what they're going for, where you have all these terrorists taking over and dressing as various law enforcement
Mm-hmm.
and attacking people and building that sense of mistrust among the public, and the way that kind of turns into this rampant just panic. And I was like, this is absurd, the level of scale that this guy's able to achieve. But at the same time, like, I've never really seen these methods employed in an action film to this kind of degree, this kind of commitment to insane violence.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually kind of worked for me.
Yep. I want to get into likes and dislikes in a second, but just to top and tail the thoughts. We made a joke at the start like this isn't Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
I think what this proves is the flexibility of the spy genre.
Yeah.
Is that this is, if you look at it on paper, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is a spy movie set at Christmas, and this is a spy movie set at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There are other things you can add in, but really, they are the same.
Mm-hmm.
But they are also completely different.
Yeah.
Tonally, budget-wise, delivery of performance-wise. Like, don't go into this thinking you're going to get Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I don't know why you would. And I'm not going to judge it. When it comes to Noctis, I'm not going to judge it on that same spectrum.
But when you look at like the diversity of the Christmas movies we've tackled, The Package, Red, On Her Majesty's, like none of these movies are the same.
The two I'd argue that are the closest would be this and Red.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
but compare the kind of action pyrotechnics to Red, and it's like, oh, there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, I think they spent most of their money on actors in Red.
Yeah.
Well, but let's do it. Let's get into likes. I'm sure there's a lot to discuss, and I just want to start off by saying Chuck Norris is a dreadful actor, and I thank him for it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows, like, you go back to that, we always talk about that Samuel L. Jackson story, the no running story.
Yeah.
He's not one of these people who likes to think he is an actor, and so he tries to do, like, professional roles, acting roles, character drama. Chuck Norris knows he is an 8th Dan black belt and can kick ass looking good doing it. And so he does that. And I appreciate the fact that he dials into what makes him a stronger performer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is great at demonstrating him as a good performer. It's not like this film exposes his weaknesses. There's no like big love making scene with the interest. There's no big like professing of anger at what the Russians have done to the United States. It's just him cracking one-liners and taking down the Reds. You know?
Yeah. Like he knows his limits and he plays within them.
Uh-huh.
And it was like interesting to me. Yeah, you're right. Like he's not like pushing for like, I need to have a romance in this movie. I need to have more of a connection with the armadillo. There has to be something here. I need to have some sort of like pumped up dramatic back and forth with the Richard Lynch villain.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. They're happy to play it very straight and down the line.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case in all of his movies. I don't recall a lot of interpersonal relationships going on in the missing in action films to the best of my memory.
Sure.
But you're right. Like, he's very committed to what he does on a very basic level, but also very convincing in all of the action because a lot of it he did his own stunts.
Yeah.
And so, like, right off the bat, right at the start of the movie, when I saw him wrestling an alligator and, like, handling the head.
And it's clearly him.
Yeah. I'm like, huh. Like, I love Live and Let Die. You would never have gotten Roger Moore to race across those alligators or crocodiles or whatever they were in that movie.
No, and I don't think many people thought that was actually Roger Moore jumping across those alligators.
No.
But I could see a world where Chuck Norris did that. He's a genuine badass.
And, like, you would not get Arnold Schwarzenegger doing that same scene. Like, he might be in a scene with an alligator, although it was digital ones in Eraser, to the best of my memory. But, you know, here, it's Chuck Norris actually handling, like, he is gator wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, huh.
Like, he's tying the knot around the gator's mouth.
Yeah.
That's not some other guy off in a side shot, or like they're shooting him like from the waist down so you can have someone else do it. It's all Chuck. When the driving sequence you spoke about earlier with the ladies on the side, that's Chuck driving the car while the stunt performer grabs the other stunt performer off of the car.
Mm-hmm.
When he drives up to the school bus and takes the bomb off the side, which, by the way, yes, there's a bomb on the side of a school bus in this film.
Those kids are singing "Row, row, row your boat."
What's that a reference to?
Well, I mean, we talked about that song in Star Trek V on the Patreon.
We have talked about the film I'm thinking of.
Are you thinking of Dirty Harry?
Correct.
They weren't singing "Row, row, row your boat," were they?
Yeah.
Were they in Dirty Harry?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, incredible!
Yeah. I don't know if that's an actual callback to it, but if it is, it's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, it probably is.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's less of Andrew Robinson riding on top of the school bus in this, so maybe you knock a point off for that. But I watched Texas Walker Texas Ranger as a kid, and I saw him as a genuine badass. But as an adult, I've never gone back to that show, or really any of his films, apart from Lone Wolf McQuade, which I don't really remember all that much. I watched it more for Barbara Carrera.
Yeah.
He bowled me over with this. Like, I genuinely want to go and I want to chuck out more Chuck Norris films.
Check out the Chuck.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Thank you.
No, I mean, it definitely made me kind of go, huh. should I be checking out these earlier ones? Because the thing is, like, I grew up at a time where when I was watching Sidekicks or seeing the commercials on TV for Top Dog,
Mm-hmm.
this was not a guy I thought was cool.
No.
You know, I was like, sure, whatever. But it makes me want to go back and watch ones like Code of Silence, or Breaker Breaker, and just like see if there's. I'm not expecting great performances out of him, but just to see the level of action that are delivered in those movies, that's what draws me in more.
And also, they're making up for the inadequacies of perhaps his acting spectrum with stunt and action work like this. Like, if I was going to do an interview for this film, I'd love to speak to the second unit team.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I mean, did you, like, where on earth did you come up with some of these things? Oh, I want to shoot a bazooka at a child. Like, where does that come up?
I know. It is like the ultimate fear of, communists, right? Like, it is it's
they
not
will
just
turn
that
up on your doorstep and shoot bazookas at you. Watch out.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just that they're going to take over your town. They are going to be so monstrously evil in their violence that you got to get behind Chuck Norris, because he's all that stands between you and abject chaos.
Yeah. And he is the moral justice the entire way through. There is never any doubt in his capabilities or his like morality. He is the definitive good.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the clarity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it makes it simple. Maybe it's not nuanced. But I don't come to a Chuck Norris film for that.
No.
I don't. If Roger Ebert gave it a 1-star review or a half-star review,
yeah.
I think that's a bit unfair.
Yeah, the only thing is I would have to go back and really do a deep dive on what the action movies they would have been seeing in like 84, 85 are that they're comparing this against.
Sure. What about you? Any likes you want to bring up?
Well, the thing is with this movie, it's the action. It's like the practical action that is just an absolute joy that we are robbed of all the time. We have just, I think, grown used to watching CG punch-ups at the end of a movie and going, yeah, I guess that's as good as they can do. I guess that's what it is now. Like, sure. And like, there are examples of that being done well. We are days away at the time of recording from the new Avatar film. I'm sure James Cameron will do incredible CG action in that movie.
Sure.
But when you see a lot of other films, a lot of the comic book stuff or just general action films that will have a lot of CG in them, you are being robbed of real fire or explosions, bullet squibs, blood. If there is blood, it's often digital blood now. All of the things that are just rampantly on display throughout this film. Like, it's so nice to go back to this time period where action had weight to it. And even if it is like, this is not a movie that lingers on the series, except for that scene you mentioned, the one with the houses being blown up. But like,
and the afterwards bit where it lingers on the actual destruction and stays with the impact of the action, as opposed to like just going straight to, I don't know, Chuck Norris chasing after them or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of it is just, let's get from one set piece to the next. There's the bus sequence, which you mentioned. That is an incredible sequence of him grabbing the bomb off the side of the bus, although the timer on that bomb was a little questionable at the end when he grabbed the bomb and was trying to get it to the bad guys.
If
Don't
you get
care.
into that, I mean, like, he never reloads his gun.
That's also true. And he's got the double Uzis, which is so 80s.
And like, those things fire 9mm bullets very fast. You'll get through that was basically a 30-round clip in each gun.
Yeah.
You're getting through that in about 10 seconds. He was shooting for minutes with those things, but I didn't care.
Yeah, and when you had that police station shootout at the end of the film, like, it reminded me a little bit of Terminator, where you had Schwarzenegger doing a very similar kind of sequence.
Yeah.
It almost felt like the canon version of let's one-up that. Like, let's go bigger.
Sure.
And you had scenes of him like blowing holes in the walls to get the guys on the opposite ends. Like, all of it is very big and over the top. But it's a movie that like could easily have said, you know what? Like, we are exhausted at this point. We've done all these big action set pieces in the first half of this movie. And there are many movies that just kind of peter out by the end. This one is like insane, where you have like the big martial arts fight with him and Richard Lynch. You have Richard Lynch getting shot with a bazooka and exploding out a window. Oh my god.
Well, I've never seen a bazooka standoff in my life until I saw this film because they're both holding bazookas.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, and it was only one like rocket launcher, was in the cut ending from Die Hard 3, where it's them playing like,
That's not a standoff. That's just a one man with a bazooka.
well, it's like a Russian roulette thing where they're turning the rocket launcher.
I've never seen
'Cause-
the different ending to that film.
yeah, it's like they, because of the type of rocket launcher it is, you can't tell which end is the
Right. Yeah.
exit point. So
Mhm.
they're rotating it based on Simon Says questions.
Sure.
And then Jeremy Irons hits the button and it blows through him. But it just goes right through him. He doesn't explode. And it's like,
I could see that happening. Sure.
yeah, it's probably more realistic, I guess. But like what they show here, I was like, this is how you end an action movie. You go big.
And you turn the guy into pizza.
Yeah, and like a lot of action movies back in the 80s and 90s, it was often about how big can you go with the final bad guy death. And I loved it. That was one of my favorite things, was like, how's the bad guy going to die in this one? It's going to be insane.
I mean, I've got one of my dislikes is the ending,
Sure.
but it's for a different reason.
Right.
So we'll come back to that.
But yeah, and then you had this enormous war on the streets between the military and all these, terrorists. Incredible.
I mean, the military look dreadful in this, by the way. Like, you got these guys armed with like M16s and M4s against tanks, and they put up a good fight.
They do. Yeah, yeah. But
They
like
shouldn't.
it's this massive scale action sequence that like is very reminiscent of the kind of thing you'd see at the end of a Roger Moore Bond film.
And there's so many tanks on screen. How the
Yeah.
hell did they get that many tanks?
And helicopters in the air as well, hovering overhead.
Dropping those pamphlets, though, that was like a little end of the worldy for me.
It was. It actually reminded me of a movie from '98 called The Siege, which I actually never saw, but it was about a military general played by Bruce Willis who like institutes martial law, I think in Washington, and Denzel Washington and Annette Bening are in it. And I suddenly had this thought as I watched that sequence. Wait a second. Does The Siege count for this podcast? And Scott, it does. So I've added it to the master list.
A new 90s film to watch. Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
More
yeah.
Denzel.
Because the Annette Bening character is a CIA operative.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll add that. But I thought of movies like that, the idea of like this kind of martial law, and it has like that great kind of mood establishing of the kind of military rule of this town we see in Florida, sort of. But like tying that with all the explosives and the pyrotechnics, it really works.
There's bits in this film that I feel like it's barely scratching the surface, which I want to come back to.
Well, the storytelling is not good.
No,
Not good.
No, but like I want to finish this section of likes on a strong point. So do you have another one for us?
I think when the action makes up about 70% of the movie, it's a pretty big like.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Agents, we don't expect you to talk. We expect you to buy a subscription to our Patreon.
Yee. That's right. Over on the SpyHards Patreon, we're covering all your favorite spy TV shows, as well as popular films from the most iconic secret agent actors of all time.
Cam, why don't you share some intel on our latest assignment?
Choo choo, Scott. The Christmas train has arrived, and it's time to hop aboard and go on a little adventure with the 2004 Robert Zemeckis motion capture fantasy, The Polar Express, starring, of course, Mr. Tom Hanks. Does this polarizing technological breakthrough from the past still offer a smooth ride, or does it get horribly derailed? Tune in and find out.
So accept your mission and help support your favorite spy movie podcast at patreon.com/spyhards.
But before we activate the fourth protocol, let's get back to the spy jigs.
Okay, dislike time. We need to open up this present. Does it have coal in it? Or a bazooka?
Boom! Too late.
Oh well. Cut to credits. End of film. I I've got two major hang-ups with this film.
Mm-hmm.
And one is unfair, one is a fair thing to point at. So I'll go with the fair one first.
Okay.
I think the ending should have been in a different location and not in an office. I think like having that little shootout in the office is fun because like you can see the bullet holes in the walls, like it's a tangible feel to the destruction of that office. I understand. But I feel like the showdown between Chuck Norris and Richard, I keep forgetting his name, Lynch, should have been like on the roof of the building or something. Like it needed something that was slightly more epic than literally a fire exit corridor in a office.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like it just I as a from like visually, I think it would have been more interesting. Like I know shooting outside is harder, shooting on a set is far easier to control. I get it. Money was probably tight on this film, but I just felt like there should have been like an epicness because the two people they never cross paths until the very end of the film. You see it at the beginning.
And the dream. Don't forget the dream.
You have the dream where he dreams of him. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I dream of Chuck Norris, but that's for other reasons. And it's that double denim.
No, that's often open.
Wow.
The shirt is just
Wow.
open. Yeah.
He went to court with his shirt open.
I know.
Like, I mean, that's a baller move right there.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw the movie Zootopia 2 the other day, which is very good. But the mayor is a horse who is also an action star, and it's played up as he's just like really kind of over the top, like cheesy action star. And there's a lot of similarities between like Chuck Norris in this movie and that horse.
Isn't that another word for a horse, a mare?
That's a female horse.
Was that what the joke is?
No.
Well, a mare is a female horse, and the horse is also a mare.
Oh, I get you. No, I don't think that was the case.
Wow. Okay. Either that was the best joke that they missed, or that was a terrible joke. I can't tell anymore.
Sure.
Sure. Don't write in about that one, folks. I don't care. But so yeah, I think it should have been on a grander stage to have those two. The collision course is set throughout the film. They are going to fight each other, and of course, the bazooka standoff is fantastic. But could you imagine the bazooka standoff at the top of the building with a water tower next to it that explodes, or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like the bazooka hits him and he gets pushed into the water tower and the whole thing explodes. Like, just go huge with it. That's maybe what I would have done. The unfair criticism is that so these Russians, in air quotes, of a mixed ethnicity.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's also the Cubans.
Sure. It's not about their ethnicity that I'm questioning.
Yeah.
Are allegedly taking over the United States, which is a very big country and very hard to take over because most people have weapons in their house. One thing I think would have been interesting, and Red Dawn does get into this a bit more, is actually what would happen to the United States if it was invaded.
Right.
Okay, so you see the neighborhood get attacked. No one's come running out with their shotgun. Maybe they were caught by surprise. But by later on, you've got like martial law being declared. There's no vigilantes out there trying to catch them. There's no like people setting up fucking watchtowers outside their house. I feel like America would really lock in if they were being invaded, and there would be a lot of people helping and patrolling the streets. It's kind of like that old argument with that Western thing that we go back to a lot, where like the sheriff would be aided by other people.
Yep, you're following my brain as well. Yeah.
I kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
And then I don't like. You see lots of people like evacuating and running away. I don't think that would be what would happen in the United States. Certainly not in Florida.
No, I mean, like, I also was thinking of High Noon, where it's up to the sheriff, Gary Cooper, to save the day. And then in Rio Bravo, you get people gathering together a little more to ward off the bad guys. Like, this version of this story that Chuck Norris is pursuing is definitely more High Noon. It's up to Chuck Norris to restore order.
But there's like moments, like you go through the city at one point and there's a guy outside a grocery store and he's like, because of the blockades, we do have not had any fresh produce. You can only get 12 items per person. boo, throwing things at him, like, the civilization breaking down, the idea of the social bonds that unite us falling apart as we start to scrabble for resources and all this sort of stuff. Looking at humanity when it is under pressure. There's something interesting about that this film has no interest in looking at.
No. It's definitely got the Chuck Norris as savior aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said that's an unfair criticism because I really like sort of dystopian films. Like I love that sort of look at how things can go wrong. That's why I love films like Threads and The Day After and stuff like that. Yeah, probably a weird genre of films to like, but I enjoy that look at humanity. And I just felt like that it does take a couple of swipes at it, like that grocery store scene. There's a couple of other things that happen, but it really has no interest in exploring that question or like what would happen. And it's also very quick how this terrorist group completely kneecaps the United States of America.
Well, it's like we tackled that movie Rocket Attack,
Yeah,
USA, in this year, and that one we laugh at it because it's so shoddy, right? But it has a similar level of hysteria to it that this movie does as well, where it's like Chuck Norris saw this as a cautionary tale. It was based on a Reader's Digest article he saw that, like, to him, this is something that people should be very worried about and scared. And, like,
I'm worried about it now.
Yeah, and Chuck Norris is very, very conservative. Very conservative.
Sure.
And so, like, it has that kind of conservative wet dream to it aspect. And often when you invest that much in these kind of cautionary hysteria stories, they're pretty cheesy. They're pretty laughable.
And thin.
Very thin, yes. Like, not a lot of nuances, too. As you said, like, all the elements of the government, how the people would react, all that stuff is stripped away.
Yeah. It's just the hero's journey in a sense, which is, and I said at the start, like, I'm not coming to this hoping for Citizen Kane. It never was going to be that. I saw a glimpse of a type of filmmaking I like to see, and they didn't go any further with it, and I suppose that disappointed me a little bit.
Well, you have, like, that scene where it's like the two Hispanic guys hanging out at the party, and the fake police show up and shoot him, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have these two guys. It's only two guys. These two terrorists.
Like, and for what? Like, whatever comes of that?
Nothing really becomes of it, other than they, when a real police car pulls up, they all, like, start hurling bricks at it, which shows this kind of building distrust towards authority,
unraveling the social ties. Yeah, and it's a destabilization strategy is what they're doing. We're talking actual tradecraft here.
Yeah,
this is classic destabilization stuff. Like, you try and you break down the major structures that people depend on: electricity, law enforcement, all this sort of stuff. And I think that was great that was weaved in. I just wish they'd done more with it.
Well, you have to also believe that just two guys in a police car are going to play this significant a role, whereas, like, they'd probably get grabbed pretty quickly.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I'm applying logic to this. Well, I'm not. I think me wanting to see a little bit of society breaking down isn't that much of a want.
Yeah.
I think there was probably room for that in this film, but I think that's probably some of the stuff that was cut.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of gets to my dislike, which is, like, outside of the action, not a lot in this movie really works. I think, like, the characters, like, we mentioned those FBI agents, or I think one of them was a cop, I don't know, off the top. Like, that is filler. Like, there's a lot of characters who are just there for exposition, and it is the worst type where it's like, that they are only there for exposition because they contribute nothing else. I have no idea why the reporter character played by Melissa Prophet is in this movie other than exposition.
I have to assume there was some sort of love story at some point.
There had to be something because she just keeps popping up throughout the movie, and I'm going like, why? And I also began to wonder, because there's a number of action set pieces that make up, especially the second half of this movie. How does Chuck Norris even know where to go? All these things are happening, and he's always there.
He just turns up.
Yeah.
He just turns up. He has like a radar for this sort of stuff. Like, I thought, because it's set early on that this reporter person has a police scanner and gets to things before the police do.
Yeah.
So you could kind of go off of that. But that has to mean that someone has reported it to the police.
Yes.
It can't be before something happens.
That bomb on the side of the school bus, he was just there.
He would just happen to be driving on that very same strip of road and was like,
Yeah.
commies.
Yeah.
So, again, another hole.
Yeah, and so, like, when it comes to the actual story, I'm like, this is... it's almost a joke. Also, like, I didn't really like Richard Lynch in this movie.
I felt like he was big at appropriate times. I just wish I knew why.
To me, there's just... I don't expect a multifaceted villain in this movie, but you want a little bit of charisma where, like, you know, when you see, like, you know, like, say, like a John Wick film, these are action through and through, right? And some of them are incredible. And the bad guys usually pop pretty good. You know, they may not have all these layers to them that you really understand, but, like, when they're on screen, they really grab you. You know, whether it's you know, Skarsgård in the fourth one, or Dacascos showing up in 3. Like, they have charisma and they're unique. And I just felt like Richard Lynch was just sweaty. He was just like a sweaty, desperate dude who didn't give me a lot. And so when I saw him get, you know, executed explosively by Chuck Norris, it's like, well, it's a great villain death, but he wasn't a villain I ever liked through the movie. And I don't mean that liked in terms of his actions. I mean liked in terms of, like, what a great villain.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stay in my memory for his performance. He's going to stay in my memory for being blown up by a rocket.
Yeah, yeah.
But you compare it to some of the other greats, like, you know, we talked about Die Hard earlier, talk about Hans Gruber. You remember his death, but you also remember all of the one-liners he came out with. They didn't make a character to match Chuck Norris in this film.
Even Colonel Stewart in Die Hard 2, who we covered on the Patreon, big step down from Gruber.
Sure.
But I think there's enough oddness to him that he sticks in my mind a lot more than Rostov will.
I just also kind of wish I knew a little bit of why he's trying to do this.
Sure.
Apart from the decadence of Western civilization.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking for, like, the Bolsheviks or whatever it was from GoldenEye.
Who are you talking about?
006.
Oh, 006. He was with the oh my god. Lien's Cossacks.
The Cossacks, of course. Yes. I didn't need to go to the depths of Russian history like the Cossacks, but just something.
Sure.
Something. The other one I wanted to bring up, we did briefly just talk about it, was the reporter character.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, we've barely mentioned her, but Maguire is the character's name, played by Melissa Prophet. A real nothing burger of the film, and you think there's going to be something to her, but she just completely disappears in the last action sequence, and you never get any resolution for the story.
I know, and she's a Scorsese regular. She was in Goodfellas and Casino. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I just thought this entire role was nothing. It felt like we need a female presence in this movie, which I was actually surprised with Canon they didn't play up the romance, because usually the female character is there for nudity or a romance or something.
Well, there was some TNA in this film.
At the classic 80s strip club you have to go to.
Of course.
Yeah. Gil's Spot. Nice place.
Cam wrote it down so much he was going to Google it.
Yeah, Confederate flag on the wall. Gil's, real classy establishment.
Cam is heading there now.
Yeah, sure. But yes, you had nudity there, but I just was like wondering, like, what is the purpose of this character other than exposition? Like, because there was really nothing else.
I've got nothing. I have nothing to say. Like, I just wish I don't actually wish, because the thing is, I wouldn't want this film to run any longer.
Sure.
It was just about, I think, about to start outstaying its welcome if it hit 2 hours. So then you'd have to sacrifice some of the action to get some of the character work in, and I wouldn't sacrifice any of that action.
I would cut all the stuff with the FBI.
Sure. Like, just get rid of them altogether.
Like, if they were giving you kind of a running tally as to what is happening over the course of the film, I could see their value, but they really don't.
They never sell, like, they've taken over Detroit, or like, we've lost Fifth Avenue. Like, there's never any indication as to the wider picture.
No, they show up, like, after being off screen for like an hour, and you're like, oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah, the trench coat guys.
Yeah.
They're back.
Like you could have them at the start of the movie, setting up, that there was like murders, and that's what's going on. But you don't need them after that.
No, I think you just do more with that handler.
Yeah. Again, there's another character who's completely meaningless, just like vanishes from the film.
Oh, it's Martin Shakar as Adams.
Okay,
That's him.
sure.
I recognize the face. Yeah, again, he like tries to bring in Chuck Norris back into the fold when he's out in the bayou, and steps in some mud and then gets a knife to his throat, and they tells him to bugger off, and then Chuck Norris's friend gets brutally murdered in a what do they call those things? Hovercrafts or
Swamp boat.
swamp boat attack. There's a swamp boat attack in this film, and they blow up his cabin.
They do.
With another rocket launcher. There's a lot of bazookas in this film.
There are not enough. We need more rocket launchers, more bazookas. Yeah,
Bazooka hards, man. We're hard for bazookas.
we are.
I've got some notes. Do you have some notes?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I felt like this movie had kind of poor supporting actor casting. Like, I just would have liked more people that pop. But you had Billy Drago off the top, who was Nitty in The Untouchables. He's the guy that gets the gun down his pants.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that guy is so weird on screen. You're like, give us more of this. Whereas, like, a lot of the other supporting players throughout the movie are kind of forgettable. Like, one of the ones that's very prominent is Alexander Zale as Nico, who's the second in command to Rostov. So generic.
Never understand what his point is. I did like Dale Bertie as John Eagle, the swamp guy / restaurateur.
That restaurant looked like it would give you food poisoning.
I'd still probably eat there in a pickle, though.
Would you? I wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, fresh toads every day.
I mean, it was definitely a place that I would stay well away from.
Have you ever eaten frogs?
No, I haven't.
They just taste like chicken.
Okay, yeah. I liked Chuck Norris being like, God, I'm sick of frogs.
Yeah. I would be too if you were eating them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What were they doing with that crocodile, though? I keep saying crocodile or alligator. I'm not sure which one it was.
I'm pretty sure it's an alligator.
Sure. There's more in your continent than there is in mine.
Alligators have broader noses or snouts, I believe. So
Sure. This is an audio podcast. It could be anything. But yeah, it's one of those snappy things that likes to do a death roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple other notes I had. At one point, Chuck Norris is sitting in his hotel watching the 50s sci-fi film Earth versus the Flying Saucers.
I knew you were going to pick up on what film that was.
But that falls into that 50s atomic panic.
Alien scare.
Yeah, aliens in place of like the Russians.
And they're doing like suicide dives into like the White House and stuff.
I think that's when they're shot down or they're dying and they're crashing.
Okay. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen Earth versus the Flying Saucers. It's one of the really fun ones, actually, that time period. There's a few, but like a lot of the sci-fi is real schlock, but I think that one's actually pretty fun.
I mean, Chuck Norris approves of it.
He does. Another note I had was those two police officers that roll up on that party.
Mm-hmm.
The one who's the most prominent, he looks like Steven Spielberg. The one with the aviator glasses. I was like, that would have been amazing if Spielberg's doing a cameo in 85. He's like, I just finished Temple of Doom. I want to have a cameo in a Chuck Norris film.
Blow off some steam.
Yes.
Okay, I had a couple. Did you note the composer?
Yes, I did. Jay Chataway.
Yeah, who our biggest claim to fame was the conductor and composer of the Voyager theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Star Trek Voyager, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've heard him live, actually.
I think we did. Yeah.
He conducted the orchestra a couple of years ago when I was there.
Okay. Yeah, I would have been there.
So,
yeah.
You didn't go to that one, though. You went to Prince that night.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen Jay Chataway live, but I didn't go
Prince
up
impersonator. Let's get that accurate. Prince impersonator.
Yeah, he didn't see Prince, folks. He saw a very good Prince impersonator.
Very good, yeah. Purple Rain. Check it out if you're in Vegas.
Are we getting paid by Purple Rain all of a sudden?
REIGN.
Oh, okay. Cam's getting that funny money from the man called Prince.
I had a complaint.
Mm.
Chuck Norris, as I mentioned up front, martial arts champion. There's like no martial arts in this movie, really.
Minimal martial. He kicks the guy a couple of times.
Yeah, Richard Lynch at the end, but like,
Yeah.
come on, like
Kicking him into those like dividing walls for those offices, that looked really brutal for the stunt guy. I have to say that looked like a really hard landing.
A lot of Uzis, and Uzis are fun in a movie, but like, come on, give me some variety with the kills, Chuck Norris.
He's got an 8th Dan, whatever that means.
Mm,
There were 7 Dans. He's the 8th.
I know.
I mean, he should know at least 8 moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that criticism. I wrote down, what's the deal with all the gum?
Yeah.
The kid throws the gum on the truck, and then Chuck Norris sticks the gum to the picture in his hotel room when he's picked up by the FBI.
I don't know.
Like, what's it with this wanton destruction from people in Florida of public property or private property with chewing gum?
I feel like that was a real era for chewing gum.
It must have
like
been.
There was a lot of marketing for like Bubblicious and Big League Chew and all these various gums.
Well, you were alive this year. You were a child, so you should know.
Yeah. Oh, I ate a lot of gum at that time period. Nonstop. Yeah, I think people chew gum less now, especially the junky gum.
I just have like Wrigley's mint for like freshening my breath. That's about it, really.
Sure, that's what people I think primarily chew gum for now. But back in the day, it was big with like gumball machines, and as I said, Bubblicious was really popular.
Fair enough. And lastly, we mentioned it very briefly, but the abrupt end.
Very abrupt, but I kind of appreciated it. It was like, okay, go out strong, just end.
The stuff you're interested in is over. Goodbye.
Unless the armadillo's coming back, I don't care.
Like, can you imagine if he like gets in the truck and pulls the armadillo out from the floor and puts it on the front and just drives off, and the armadillo curls up in a ball? I would have liked that. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? You have the handler show up, cradling the armadillo, and be like, "It's time to go home, Hunter."
And he picks up the armadillo, punches the handler in the face, cocks his shotgun, and gets in the truck.
It says, "I don't have a home."
Yeah,
remember?
They blew it up. Oh, poor guy. Well, it's our 5th Christmas film. It's our 5th chance to put Santa Claus on the knock list where he belongs. Can he do it?
Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. The knock list. The knock list. Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. You need to pick a side.
Yes, Cam, the question goes to you. Is Chuck Norris's one and only spy movie making the knock list?
Well, hold on now, Scott. He made the knock list with the Wrecking Crew.
Oh, so he could be a 2. Can you imagine a world where like Chuck Norris is a 2-time knock list awardee?
No.
No.
I can't really, in good conscience, put this one on the knock list. I think these spy elements are shaky at best, as portrayed in the film.
Mm-hmm.
This is just pure action porn.
Yep.
If this is maybe an action movie knock list, it would be probably a good representative of Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
I think of his films from what I've read. But in terms of the world of spy films, this is an oddity, somewhat outside of the norm. But I think it's one that, like, look, if you listen to this episode, you've made it this far, and this intrigues you, this film, you know who you are. Like, you are the audience for Invasion U.S.A. But I don't think this is a movie that would be considered a great espionage or spy film.
No, I don't think this is on the list of need-to-see classics of the spy genre. Need-to-see or classics. That should be what it stands for. As in knock. Need-to-see or classic. Like, is it need-to-see or is it a classic? Like, The Wrecking Crew, you need to see it. It's not a classic.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, I can't change the knock list like 6 years later, but I can't believe it took us this long to think of that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think, like, this is action trash done incredibly fun. And Pauline Kael, the great critic of, the 70s especially, would say that, like, you can't appreciate great art if you can't appreciate great trash. And you know what? This is pretty great trash.
It's pretty good trash. I wouldn't necessarily throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a no from me. It's definitely not need to see or a classic. But I would love this to become a new go-to Christmas film for people. Like, I'm so bored of seeing people's like Nakatomi Plaza advent calendars. Fuck off. So boring. Like, there's like what, a Christmas tree and a Christmas party? This is set at Christmas. There's Christmas music everywhere. There's like a whole like Santa display that a truck drives through. This is definitely Christmas. So you've got that, and you've got bazookas. I mean, what more do you need?
I know. That's right.
Make this your Christmas film. Show your kids.
Well, it fits in well with something like The Long Kiss Goodnight. Oh, that's what we did for our Christmas movie. So that was our 6th.
It was 6.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There we go. We had 6. Okay. So Long Kiss Goodnight is also like that over-the-top crazy action. I just think it's a better film than this.
Yep.
But it is that similar, just almost shameless go for broke kind of attitude.
But I enjoyed everything this film had to offer. It just wasn't up to the pedigree of the films I think that should be on the knock list. But yeah, I would urge people to, if you've made it this far, go and check out the film. Make it your Christmas watch.
Yeah.
You're getting this episode a week before Christmas. You've got a week to watch it before Santa gets here. Don't panic. It's available everywhere.
That's right. It is. They want you to watch it.
Yeah, Chuck Norris is easy to find, but hard to kill.
Perfect.
Well, there you go. Invasion USA is not making the knock list. The dossier on the film is complete and filed as classified. That was the final spy movie of 2025.
That's right, it was. And what a way. We went out with a bang, as they would say.
Literally, Richard Lynch's guts everywhere.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But we've got some treats coming up for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have, Cam?
Yes, next week we have a special Spy Master interview with Anthony Way, who the name might not immediately jump out to you, but has played a very prominent role in the Bond films. Starting with For Your Eyes Only, he was an assistant director on that film and played that role through Octopussy. And he was also a producer on the Bond films, starting with Pierce Brosnan and moving into the Daniel Craig era. This guy has a ton of Bond stories. He also worked on classics like The Elephant Man, The Great Train Robbery, and, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Quite the curriculum vitae, one might say. We have quite a long interview with Anthony Way, if I remember correctly. It's quite a long conversation, really going nuts and bolts through the films that he worked on. Some spy movies, some not. We couldn't miss out this opportunity to speak to Anthony. He was an absolute star. I've actually spoken to him since at a book signing, so it was nice to catch up with him. And he actually remembered doing the interview, which was nice.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Left an impression. Maybe for the worst, but who knows? But there you go, folks. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to join us next time as we sit down with Mr. Anthony Way for the final episode of 2025. We'd like to give you an interview over the Christmas period for just, you're sitting down, you've got your chocolates everywhere, you're feeling slightly full. You want just an easy, lovely, pleasant listen. That's what we give you with Anthony Way. It's not the high-octane explosions of Invasion USA.
But what is?
Few things. I mean, this is truly the all-time high.
Anthony is going to take on the world and win.
He is. And if you want to help support SpyHards, if you're thinking about Christmas presents, this is the time of giving. Why don't you give yourself over to the SpyHards Patreon? Come and find us at patreon.com/SpyHards. Join us for as little as a couple of pounds per month. Get yourself some bonus episodes, and also know that you're helping keep this show on the air because it costs us money to run it. And money doesn't grow on trees. Bazookas do.
They do, and there's lots of Christmas episodes to be found on the Patreon. Not just this year's episodes on Ghostbusters 2 and the Polar Express, but also past ones. We talked about Die Hard 2. We've done a lot of Christmas episodes.
For sure. Lots to tuck into there alongside your mince pies and roasted chestnuts on that open fire. Come and talk to us. We'll be online at SpyHards, wherever you get your social media. I'm sure we'll be talking about Invasion USA. I will be out spreading the gospel of Chuck Norris. But until next time, folks, forget Santa Claus, forget all that other stuff. Cam and I are off to celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with its most wonderful icon, the holiday armadillo.